Hello everyone. I am Lei from Johns Hopkins University. You can call me Dr. Snow. Today, I will demonstrate how to efficiently complete an English research paper review using DeepSeek and ChatGPT. Why make this video? Currently, there are tons of videos introducing AI applications, but very few actually demonstrate how to apply AI in real research scenarios. Writing a literature review, specifically the introduction section of an SCI paper, is one of the most practical applications for many researchers. Additionally, AI is often overhyped nowadays, making it seem like everything can be done with just one click, leading to anxiety about job displacement. Through this demonstration, we will explore whether that is really the case. Also, a special disclaimer. This video is recorded in February 2025. AI is developing rapidly, so the content here only reflects the current state of AI capabilities. The introduction of a paper varies in word count depending on the field and journal. In my area, a full paper is typically around 5,000 words, with the introduction section being around 500 to 800 words. The introduction should clarify the significance of the research topic, summarize previous studies, highlight gaps in existing research, and outline the objectives of the current study. It should also include references. The example we will discuss today is my recent research using satellites to detect extreme events in terrestrial CO2 flux. In our context, extreme events refer to meteorological extremes such as heat waves, cold spells, heavy rainfall, and wildfires that suddenly reduce the ability of plants to absorb CO2. Previous studies typically start with a known extreme event at a specific time and location, then use satellites to observe how much CO2 levels change during the event. However, my research takes the reverse approach, using satellite data to detect where and when an extreme event has occurred based on observed CO2 fluctuations. Now, let's use DeepSeek and ChatGPT to generate a literature review for the study. Let's see how good it works. Here, I am using Chinese prompts for demonstration. When translating between Chinese and English multiple times, the wording is automatically paraphrased, reducing the risk of direct plagiarism in the paper. All prompts will be displayed with English translations in the subtitles. First, let's try DeepSeek. Write an English research paper introduction titled, Using Satellites to Detect Extreme Events in Terrestrial CO2 Flux, around 700 words, with appropriate references. Next, we use ChatGPT. Note that ChatGPT cannot enable Advanced Reasoning O1 and Internet Search simultaneously, so I enable O3 Mini and Internet Search. Okay, both have generated results. At first glance, they look decent. If you're interested, you can pause and take a closer look. To quickly verify the results, let's search for the references they listed on Google Scholar. Some references do exist. But a significant portion are completely fabricated. They simply do not exist. This shows that the idea of one-click literature review generation is not realistic. So, what should we do? The answer is to use a step-by-step approach. Writing a literature review is a complex task. Even when done manually, it takes days or even weeks. We shouldn't expect DeepSeek and ChatGPT to handle it all at once. Instead, we should first create a structured framework for the introduction, specifying what each paragraph should contain. Then, for references, we shouldn't rely on DeepSeek and ChatGPT's internet search. Instead, we should search for papers ourselves and ask AI to summarize them before integrating the information into our framework. Finally, we refine and polish the text to ensure it meets publication standards. I won't demonstrate both DeepSeek and ChatGPT in detail, both give similar results. Let's start by creating a framework. The prompt we need is, I need to write an English research paper introduction titled, Using Satellites to Detect Extreme Events in Terrestrial CO2 Flux. Importance of Extreme Events. Advances in Satellite Detection of Extreme Events. Previous studies mostly focus on evaluating the impact of known extreme events, with little assessment of satellites' ability to detect extreme events. Most studies only analyze individual regions or specific events. Therefore, this study conducts a synthetic experiment with our CO2 to assess how factors such as prior quality, CO2 observation accuracy, and event magnitude affect satellite-based extreme event detection. This is the first assessment of its kind and contributes to expanding the frontier of satellite data applications. This prompt includes the paper's title and for structured points specifying the content of each section. The first two points concern the significance of the research and current progress. These require references for expansion, so I only provided headings. The third and fourth points describe the objectives and methodology of my study in more detail. Let's see how GPT performs. First, I copy the output. The first paragraph contains broad introductory statements. It's well written. The second paragraph summarizes previous studies, but it lacks proper citations. We need to replace this section. The third and fourth paragraphs align well with our structured prompt because we provided detailed instructions. Next, we need to gather references and replace the second paragraph with properly cited content. Since our earlier demonstration showed that GPT citation search is unreliable, we will manually search for relevant papers. So, we turn to Google Scholar and use the search keyword, Satellite Extreme Events CO2. Okay, the first article. Before GPT, we had to carefully read the entire paper and take notes now. GPT can extract key information for us. Key information includes research content. 现在时间是2025年的2月份，现在 AI 速度3点很快。Conclusions and citation format. However, note that searching extreme may retrieve statistical outliers rather than climate-related extreme events. So my prompt is, summarize this paper in 1 or 2 paragraphs in Chinese, covering research content, methodology, and conclusions. Indicate whether it studies climate-related extreme events. Also, provide the proper citation. GPT summary is clear and concise. This paper indeed studies climate-related extreme events. If the paper is accessible via link, GPT can summarize it. If not, it may provide incorrect information, as seen with this example. So always fact-check, and fact-check. If GPT cannot access a paper, we need to copy the relevant sections manually. To stay within GPT's input limits, we copy only the key sections typically from the abstract and methodology. Now, I have compiled all relevant GPT-generated summaries into a document. The next step is to use this material to rewrite the review of previous studies. When writing this section, we shouldn't just mechanically list studies like, who conducted research on what and found what. Instead, we need to summarize the common findings among related studies, highlight areas of disagreement, and identify research gaps. Before GPT, this was a time-consuming process now. We can let GPT handle much of the workload. Some may ask, why not use our AG flow, FRAG, or other local knowledge-based solutions? Well, I actually tried, but they are technically complex. OpenAI's API is ridiculously expensive, and local large language models are incredibly slow. Plus, the summarization results are often underwhelming. For a one-on task like writing a literature review, which you won't revisit frequently, the cost-effectiveness is simply too low. Back to the main topic, the best way to structure the summarization with GPT is to first categorize, then summarize. The summarized document is copied into GPT. Prompt: Help me categorize the above papers based on research topics, geographic regions, and conclusions. Okay, it generated several categories. Of course, its classification may not always be accurate, so we still need to use our own expertise to make judgments. After categorizing, we proceed to summarize each category. Punkt. What are the common conclusions regarding CO to spatial portal variations and influencing factors? Please summarize in English and list the relevant references. Okay, GPT provided quite a few points here. However, we need to take the time to verify which of these are actually reliable. To save time, we select a few points that seem suitable for incorporation into the prompt. Previous studies summary section of our paper. Then, we copy this section's content and ask GPT to refine it. Prompt. Please organize the following text into several natural paragraphs without headings, and integrate the corresponding references within the paragraphs. Add necessary transition words between paragraphs. Prompt. It's too long. Please make it more concise. Prompt. Provide a reference list for the above text. Okay, we now paste the generated content to the original second paragraph. Afterward, we refine it further, such as adding references to the first two paragraphs and simplifying the last two paragraphs, which are a bit verbose. Now, the introduction section is nearly complete. Let's check the final result, 592 words, which is close to the 600-word target. If it still feels too short, we can skip the step where we shorten the content. Okay, all done. It must be emphasized that GPT is only a supporting tool. Researchers still need to spend time verifying the content it generates. AI is indeed powerful, but it cannot replace expert judgment and rigorous academic thinking. For a complex task like writing a literature review, researchers still need to define the structure, filter and organize references, and critically evaluate and refine the content before it meets publication standards. The advantage of AI lies in its ability to save us from repetitive tasks, such as literature compilation, abstract extraction, and initial drafting. However, the final academic output still requires human oversight to ensure logical coherence, strong arguments, precise wording, and adherence to academic standard. I hope today's demonstration helps you better understand how to use AI effectively in research while avoiding the trap of one-click paper generation. As large language models continue to advance, the way we work will evolve accordingly. However, no matter how powerful the tools become, the core of research remains rigorous thinking and thorough validation. I encourage you to use AI flexibly to enhance your research efficiency while maintaining academic integrity and a commitment to truth. If you found this demonstration helpful, feel free to like, save, and share it with others who might benefit. Also, feel free to discuss your experiences in the comments or suggest better ways to leverage AI for research. See you in the next video.